Hi, this is going to be a quasi-internals review of the M701R. There have been a lot of questions on how to get into the device, how to reconnect display cables if that becomes an issue. So here we have the M701R. It is a 7-inch 16:9, and you can see you've got a little rocker switch there and a physical volume switch here. To turn it on, remember you got to flip that down and then hold this power button up here. So to get into the device, something that comes in very handy is there's a 7-piece toolkit you can buy. You could get it at Merry Mobiles or some various other sites, but it just has some different tools in it. One that is very handy and what we're going to be doing is this little triangle piece, which has some beveled edges there. And if you need it, there's also a cool little suction cup holder. Now, with most of these devices that have this kind of black filmy overlay, I suggest using a hair dryer and peeling it up to look under to see if this is screwed down to the bottom part. For the 701 it's not, so it's not a concern, but if it is and you start prying, you're going to crack the screen. Even with it not being screwed in underneath this film, you can still run the risk of cracking your screen. So be careful, and again, do this at your own risk because you will void your warranty. So to start with, you just gotta get in the device here and start peeling it up along the edges here. It's not the easiest of things to do, but I guess that is their way of deterring people from doing it. So we go around the device here, and again, I'm just kind of prying it up a little bit, popping it out. There are little tabs, if you will. And again, be very careful that you don't crack the overlay screen there. So if you do that, you're done. And there we go. So as you can see, I've got it popped off there. And this is the touchscreen overlay. So this is what actually registers your fingerprints, finger connections. Now you'll see it's connected by one little cable right here, this little guy. So you need to just kind of be careful, slide it over, and you can pull out any kind of tool you want, but you just need something to just pop that little black tab back, and then you can slide it out, and it's disconnected. So there's your touch panel overlay. So if that cracks, this is the piece you need to replace for the touch panel. Underneath that, you will find the LCD screen. This is what actually displays everything on the device. But if you don't have that touch panel overlay, touching this screen isn't going to do you any good. So this screen's secured by 4 little screws right along the outside edges here. So we're just going to remove those real quick. And when you remove them, make sure you have a nice, safe location to store the little pieces in. And pop that up. And there's number 3. Come on. Oh. And if a screw gets lodged down there like that, just be careful, tilt it over, and get it out. So we got one more here. Okay, so now that the 4 screws are out, you can actually dislodge the screen. Now be very careful, this is your actual LCD, not the cheapest of things to repair. If you lift it up, it's connected by one ribbon cable, right here. So we lift that and we move it forward, and it's going to be well taped down because really you don't want to remove it, and also if this connection gets loose, that's when your screen looks a little funny or doesn't even turn on, which can commonly be a problem. So I've got mine kind of firmly in place, so I'm going to leave it there. I'd rather just not run a risk there, so we're going to put that tape back on. I'm going to just flip it over so you can actually see what's underneath the device. So right here you have the processor. That's a Telechips TCC8902 processor. Here you have, this is your built-in Nand Flash. on this device. It's a Hynix H27UBG8T2A1TR from what I can read. And right here you have your RAM chips, which makes 256 meg. Those are Hynix also. And along the edge here you have your microphone, the micro SD, HDMI, the actual physical toggle volume, toggle power switch, your USB. This is where the overlay cable is plugged in. Headphone and power, and along here the menu and escape buttons. And you have your battery here, listed as a 7.4 volt, 1500 milliamp battery, and it's dual cell. This is your Wi-Fi antenna. This is a little, looks to be a remote sensor, so if there's a infrared remote, you might be able to use it with this device. And right here's the speaker. So that's the insides of this device, and we're going to put it back together here. And again, be very careful. You don't want to pop that ribbon cable out, but you just get your LCD screen back in place there. And usually it's best to take the screw out of here. Come on. Apparently I need to not trim my nails. Alright, and then you put this on, and there's two little plastic pieces there that you put that in between, and then you just get your screw and screw the screen back down and go around the four corners here and connect that back up. Yep, like I said, with that screw in there, it doesn't sit right. So take that out, put that on, and put that right in there. And it does have a kind of a bend to it on the chip. You want to put the kind of top edge. You'll just take a look at it before you remove it, but there is a specific way that should go in there so that it holds the screen down without applying too much pressure. And again, hopefully you won't even have to go to the measures of taking it apart and getting to the screen. But if you do, that's how you do it. Alright, I got one more to connect here. And after you get everything back together, it's very important, you probably want to run a touchscreen calibration just to make sure that everything on top is registering what you're seeing on the screen below. Now the hardest part about this whole ordeal is actually getting the touch panel reconnected. It just really does not usually slide in there very easily. So tweezers might help, or just sheer dumb luck. I kind of like to maneuver it this way, and once you get it kind of slid in there like that, then you can lock it back in place by putting that tight. And as you can see, we're connected. So then just put your touch panel and just push that back down, and be careful, again, you don't want to crack the touch panel overlay, because that spells certain doom. Alright, so now that I've got that back on, we've got our flip down here, and I'm going to hold the power down. And there we go. And as you can see, my LCD cable is connected underneath, and once it gets booted up, we'll just verify the touch panel's working. So that's the basics of getting into the M701R, and if you need to replace the touch panel or the LCD screen, or just reconnect the LCD screen cable. But if you don't have to go in there, don't do it. Simple as that. And you did have the camera up here in the corner. Now, in regards to rooting the device, actually the easiest way, I've developed a root script that works on a couple different devices. It works on the mid A16R2 and the mid A16 original, and a few others. I've also found it works on the M701R. You can find that out on the forum at the link. And to do that, you need to connect this device up by a good old USB, and you need to make sure it's recognized by your system and device manager as a mid-tablet or something of that nature. When that's done, you can run the script file. You extract all the files just to a folder on your desktop, run the script, and you can choose the various options to root the device. And there's directions on the forum link for it. So as you can see, we're back up and running here. Touchscreen is working. And just waiting on it to think here. And there is a program called Calibrate. So if you click on that, and I'm just going to use a screwdriver very carefully to calibrate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Calibrate success. And with that, you're back up and running with your M701R. So thank you for watching the video, and again, if you have routing questions, go check out the forum. You should hopefully be able to find the information you need there.